Why do we romanticise snow, and what is it about a cold, snowy landscape that captivates us as the viewer? With nights drawing in, cold winds and frost on the ground, winter reminds us to slow down and stay warm inside. Snowy landscapes appear to be sleeping, even dreaming, and prompting us feelings of coziness and hibernation. Although the idea of venturing outside, wrapped up warm for a snowy walk, does sound rather appealing. In the changing world, many of us will rarely experience snow, so the depiction of snow will unlock nostalgic memories. The ideas of snow days when school was cancelled, building a snowman, or wishing for a white Christmas. For me, this painting by the Danish artist Laurits Andersen Ring unlocks all of those romanticised memories. Let's take a closer look at the painting. A road in the village of Baldersbrønde was created in 1912 and shows a village on the outskirts of Copenhagen where the artist lived at the time. Noticing the use of colour within the painting, at first it appears quite monochrome, but when we look a little closer, we see different tones in white, we see mother of pearl grey, we see icy blue and yellow browns. This sense of cold is also emphasised in the sky that acts as a continuation of the ground. Although we have an atmosphere within the painting of cold and a misty nature, there is a subtle glow to the painting, perhaps suggesting that the sun is about to rise. If we notice the use of line within the painting, we have a diagonal road leading our eye up to the top of the painting. This is mirrored by a leafless brown hedge that follows the same shape. These shapes are then offset by the vertical lines in the painting, the trees and also the upward shape of the rooftops covered in snow. This sense of the vertical is then created by the spacing of the trees towards the outside of the painting and then is reflected in the shape of the simple frame. What atmosphere do we take from the painting? For me, there is a sense of stillness, of quiet, and of isolation. Although we see houses in the painting, we don't see any people, we don't even see any light coming from the windows. We don't see any smoke coming from the chimneys or footprints in the snow. As the viewer, we are invited to take in this landscape alone. Time seems to pause or slow down as we stop and we linger at this beautiful winter landscape. So who was Laurits Andersen Ring? The son of a wheelmaker and carpenter, he would never distance himself from his humble beginnings. Instead, it would become a prominent theme within his paintings, documenting the realities of rural life. He would go on to become one of the most prominent figures in Danish and Nordic painting. Particularly known for creating portraits, he would show figures at a threshold, at doors, windows, and at roads, with the idea of symbolising change or transition. This idea of transitory spaces can be seen quite beautifully in this painting called Has It Stopped Raining, where we see a figure clutching an umbrella peering through a door into the landscape beyond. Towards the end of the 1880s, Ring would focus on creating landscape paintings. His depiction of nature would never be pristine. Instead, it would always be marked by human activity. We see roads and paths again showing the realities of rural life. In his work, he is showing Denmark on the precipice of modern life. Often his work will show telegraph poles and railway lines cutting through rural villages, marking the process and irreversible change of the Industrial Revolution. Taking a look at another painting in the National Gallery collection, this work created by George Bellows, also in 1912, is called Men of the Docks. The figures in the painting are most likely newly arrived immigrant workers. They wear thick jackets, they have their hands deep in their pockets and their collars turned up from the cold. They appear to be listening to something, perhaps the roll call for the day announcing who will be working. We notice one figure off to the side, separate from the group. He appears to be leaving. His head is down, he's hunched over. Perhaps he has not been chosen to work that day. Within this painting, we also have themes of industrialisation, of transitory spaces and isolation. Going back to Ring's work, there is a melancholy feeling to it, not only with the artist painting the realities facing working class people, but also painting his own emotions. He's creating a landscape for the soul. As an artist, he was particularly passionate about painting outside and would paint in all seasons. Although he would suffer from depression throughout his life, he would find great joy in painting outside, so much so that he would purchase special shoes, socks, and fur hats to enable him to paint outside in icy conditions. If we look at this artwork titled Painter in the Village, we see an artist wrapped up warm from the cold. He's wearing large rush shoes, he has his painting equipment, and he's wearing a beret. As the viewer, I think we are supposed to imagine how he feels painting outside in these extreme conditions, but also how he is connected to the landscape, both physically and emotionally. If you'd like to find out more about art history, click here or here and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again next time.